I kicked off this series saying, show me your content library and I'll show you exactly why you're not closing deals. Now in the same spirit, I also want to say, show me your sales team's activity and I'll show you whether your content library is actually doing its job. If your sales engineers or SEs are stuck on every call and your reps are constantly saying, let me get back to you on that, then you've got a major operational issue with your sales team. Because today's successful sales teams live and die by content. Good content attracts leads, it starts conversations, and gets forwarded to the buying committees. Deals get unstuck when content provides the kind of clarity and answers that prospects need for their lingering questions. High-performance sales teams have an asset for nearly every pain point or objection and every part of the sales flow so that they can keep that deal momentum going. Now, unfortunately, too many sales teams are doing things the old school way. They just lean so hard on their sales engineers to carry every deal, and that's really not sustainable. Most traditional enterprise sales motions rely on the sales engineer as the technical expert in the room. So the sales rep will open the conversation, build some rapport, and schedule follow-ups, but when the buyer starts asking real questions about implementation, architecture, performance, compatibility, security, scalability, that's when the SE has to get looped in again and again and again and again. I was in that role for months, waiting for my cue to speak on calls and in-person meetings. It's not fun, and especially when you have to wait every single call for answering the same questions. Now, SEs don't mind being helpful, but we do mind being on every call, repeating the same information over and over again because the reps don't want to get technical. Repeating the same demos, no fun. Explaining the same nuances of the product to different audiences, sometimes multiple times within the same account, it just leads to burnout and frustration. And when your SEs are overloaded, they start dropping balls, and sales cycles can slow down because the rep needs to check with their SE. Or prospects drop off because they couldn't get their technical questions answered fast enough. And meanwhile, your most valuable technical resources are stuck on repetitive, low-leverage work. All of these problems can be fixed with a couple of PDFs that the sales rep pulls up on a call or sends as a follow-up in an email. Anything your SE would have said in the meeting should just be packaged up in a PDF. Now, if you've got a sharp SE who explains your security model better than anyone, that explanation should become a 2-minute video or a technical brief that your reps can share. You can even record a Zoom call with a prospect and just have the asset on hand anytime you need it. If there's a specific way your product integrates with a common vendor, that integration guide should be published, shared, and reused, not just explained live in a demo. And if your reps constantly defer to the SE to explain what your platform actually does, that's a signal that you haven't built content that's doing its job. This is where sales content becomes like a force multiplier, because you want to treat content as sales infrastructure, not just like marketing material. It reduces the need for an SE to be on every single call, and your reps can handle more of the conversations and keep building those relationships and developing trust with them. They can qualify leads more effectively. They can guide buyers deeper into the process before tapping on a technical resource's shoulder. And this means your SEs can focus on what they're actually good at, which is solving complex problems and closing high-value deals, and driving technical strategy, not answering the same 5 questions over and over again. It's not hard to do this successfully either. So here's a few options that I recommend. Number 1, just talk to your SEs and ask what you or the marketing team can do to make meetings better, because feedback is a gift. Number 2, record a sales call or 2 and hand them off to your content team so they know what assets to build. Number 3, if you have a lot of sales calls, record and transcribe those calls. Then feed all of those transcripts into an AI and get ideas for content that you need. Number 4, if you're a sales rep, start memorizing what your SE says in meetings and just parrot that. It's not hard. You don't have to know what the words mean. And I don't think you'll get any flack for saying, well, typically our sales engineer says this. You can just repeat what they say. You could even go so far as to involve your content team in a sales call. Like that can be option number 5. Get them actually on your calls. Have them shadow your best SEs and capture their language, their analogies, and explanations. because that's really where the gold is. The most effective sales content isn't some abstract overview of features. You need a curated library of responses to real buyer questions, preferably built in collaboration with the people who answer those questions best. So if your SEs are swamped and your reps are overly reliant on live demos, or your technical buyers are waiting just too long to get real answers, stop looking for another SE and start scaling your SE's knowledge through content. When you do that well, your reps can level up, your SEs get breathing room, and your buyers can move faster. And your sales process starts feeling a lot less like a bottleneck and more like an actual system that helps you and your business. All right, in the next video, we're going to talk about how to build that system and what it looks like. If you need help with any of this, please don't hesitate to reach out. Send me an email at anthony@edifycontent.com. I talk to people all the time. Some of them don't know what types of content they need to develop. So we're going to cover some of that in the next video in this series as well. See you there.